Hey guys, this is my 30-day update on drinking spearmint tea and taking probiotics and switching up my skincare a little bit. Y'all know that I had to quit tretinoin because it pretty much ruined my skin. So, and by that I mean it just really damaged my moisture barrier, made my skin very sensitive, and I was breaking out more than usual. So, today's video, I would like to just give a few updates. I don't like how I just said the word update, but it's fine. I just got out of the shower, so that's why my hair's wet and my moisturizer is not fully absorbed. And it looks like I have whiteheads. They're not whiteheads. I just put on some azelaic acid on top of my moisturizer. I just like popped it on and it's not fully dried yet, so. And I also picked at my skin today, which I didn't mean to, but I also didn't go like overboard, so I'm fine with it. I guess it's just I just picked at the acne that like needed to be extracted, and that was pretty much it. So let's just get right into it. Long story short, I'm not like very happy with the results so far. I thought I was seeing decent results in the beginning, like with a decrease in inflammation, but then I had my first period since being on this new regimen, and I had a normal period breakout. It wasn't anything it wasn't an improvement, so that kind of like was really discouraging. And right now, like, I don't really have anything cystic on my face, which is good. I guess that's like residual. That was a really big cyst right here, and as you can see that it's like going down a lot. It's healing, but I guess technically it's still there because it's not like fully flat yet. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like my skin's improved like a tiny bit, but I'm still gonna continue to do it the 3 months and just see what happens, because obviously I don't want to be on oral medication for years on end. It's not pleasant. So I'm going to continue doing this for 3 months, and my moisture barrier got very damaged. I didn't notice it until about probably 3 weeks ago. So what I did was I took a break from all actives for about 2 weeks, and I switched to CeraVe moisturizer because I was using Vanny cream. So I was using the CeraVe baby moisturizer because that's all I had, and I knew that it had ceramides and my skin just really needed a thick moisturizer with ceramides. The Vanny cream, I really love Vanny cream moisturizer, but it's just not what my skin needed. It doesn't have ceramides in it. It's very basic, bare bones moisturizer that won't break you out, but it's also just very very minimalistic, and like, I don't know, I guess my skin just needed a little bit more. So after doing that, I've seen a big improvement in the hydration of my skin. It was just super dry, and like, it was not pretty. It was not cute or whatever. So anyways, I ended up using up all of the baby moisturizer from CeraVe, and I bought some of this. It's the daily moisturizing lotion. This is a little bit thinner than the CeraVe baby one. The baby moisturizer is very thick, but I'm okay with this being a little bit of a thinner moisturizer because it's meant for like daily use. It's not meant to be like a super thick layer, but it still has all of the ceramides, and it's got hyaluronic acid. It's got a lot of good stuff in here, so I'm going to continue to use this to repair my moisture barrier. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to go back to the Vanny cream. If this continues to work for me, which I don't see why it wouldn't, I'll probably just stick with this again. This was one of the first moisturizers that I tried when I first got into skincare. My very first one was Sebamed, and I love that stuff. That stuff is freaking amazing if you're just getting into skincare, you got very sensitive skin, very acne prone, and you just don't know what to use, what's going to break you out. It's a nice one, but again, it's not that hydrating, so I really wanted to get something more hydrating. I'm still using the Vanity Cream cleanser. I really like this cleanser. I use this most of the time, and then a few days a week I'll use this Panoxyl cleanser with benzoyl peroxide. This is the 4% one. Panoxyl makes a 4% and I think a 10%. But I just need 4%. So, and I'm trying to repair my moisturizer, but at the same time treat my acne. That's literally one of the most difficult things to do. So, if I can successfully do it, then probably so can you if you're dealing with the same thing. So, the days that I use this, I follow it up with, well, every day I use the CeraVe moisturizer morning and night. I don't wash my face in the morning. I wash it just with water. Like if I'm in the shower or something, I'll just wash it with water. I don't use a cleanser in the morning. But the days, so I'll use this at night, like 2 or 3 times a week. And I follow it up with this, like I do on every day. And then follow it up with this. This is what I'm using, the CeraVe Healing Ointment. This is mostly petrolatum and mineral oil, but it also does have the ceramides that are really moisturizing. So that's very good for a damaged moisture barrier. This is really not good to use if you have active acne, but I don't know, I'm justifying it by just using it a couple times a week and using the Panoxyl beforehand so I can... Panoxyl, the benzoyl peroxide in it is, it obviously fights acne, but it has a lot of antimicrobial properties, antibacterial, so I feel like it's really not that harmful to my skin if I use that beforehand, because this is called an occlusive, right? It's very thick, it feels oily, but it's not really, it's like a different type of oil. It's a non-comedogenic oil that's not very, it doesn't like slide around. It kind of just stays in place, which is nice. It can be messy, but I just use a very thin layer of it. I don't use like, gobs of it or anything. But because this is an occlusive, it traps everything in your skin. It's meant to trap the water down in your skin so that you can heal your moisture barrier, and it really just does a lot for your moisture barrier and people with dry skin types, blah blah blah. So with that, sometimes it can trap down bacteria, and that's not good for people with acne prone skin. So I hope that makes sense to use the Panoxyl beforehand. And then some other actives that I use sometimes, like I just used this today to spot treat some of my things that I got going on. This is azelaic acid gel, 15%. I did need a prescription for this, but there's a bunch of online pharmacies, and pretty sure they have something like this on eBay as well. But there's an online pharmacy. I know one of them is called Apostrophe. That's pretty cheap, like if you don't have health insurance or if you can't afford a dermatologist or whatever, you can go through them. And Axone. This stuff is, I've been using this all year, and I don't want to go into like the mechanisms of it and how it works right now, but all I'll say is that this is not a chemical exfoliant. It is made for female adult acne, and it's in kind of like, it says a gel, but it's like kind of like a creamy gel. It's like not drying like a gel would be. And it doesn't have nothing that I use contains any drying alcohols or anything like that. So sometimes I will just use a thin layer of this over top of my moisturizer. So, whoops. Those are the actives that I use. Basically, this and this are anti-inflammatory. This really targets cystic acne a lot better than this does, but they both kind of serve the same purpose, but they work in different ways, and they do have a little bit of varying benefits. Like, for example, this is really good for hyperpigmentation, so this is also not a chemical exfoliant. It's an anti-inflammatory. So this is the only chemical exfoliant in my routine currently, and it's a wash, so it's a little bit more gentle. I recently also bought the Ulta MD UV Daily Broad Spectrum SPF 40 sheer and lightweight. This is tinted. It's a tinted mineral sunscreen. It is kind of expensive. I bought it on Amazon, but I'm gonna try it out. I have yet to try it. I tried a little bit of it, like, on the back of my hand, just to make sure that it wasn't sticky or orangey, because sometimes these tinted sunscreens can have a little bit of an orange tint, and I really hate that. So I just tried it on the back of my hand, and from what I saw when I used it, this was yesterday, it's really nice. It's really good. I may or may not need to pair this with my moisturizer in the morning, but yeah, I really just wanted a tinted mineral sunscreen, and Ulta MD is really good. It's recommended. My dermatologist recommended it to me. I've seen a few different dermatologists on TikTok recommending that brand, so I have tried it before, and I didn't like the one that I bought. I bought the non-tinted version of I think it was the UV Clear. The UV Clear is the most popular one, and that's the one I tried at the beginning of the year, but it had niacinamide in it, and I have a feeling that my skin doesn't tolerate high levels of niacinamide very well, so I made sure to get the one that was tinted without niacinamide. And I know a lot of people rave about it and all that stuff. I've tried a bunch of different niacinamide products, and my skin just doesn't react well to it, so I don't know what that's about, but yeah. So in my next video, I'll probably give a little review on it and tell you guys if I like it or not, but that's what I'm using right now. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep drinking the tea and seeing kind of what happens to my skin. I feel like it doesn't look that bad right now. Like, I'm looking at it in the camera. It doesn't look that bad. I don't feel like it's really inflamed at all. Just needs a little bit of help, you know? It's honestly just so frustrating though, because for a lot of periods in my life, I felt like I was almost there. Like, I was really close to achieving my ideal skin, but just couldn't get there. And for a lot of my life in my teenage years, I just had this super persistent, moderate acne that it wasn't super severe, but it wouldn't go away no matter what I did. So I feel like that's kind of where I'm at now. It's just that paired with a damaged moisture barrier makes everything just a little bit worse, I guess, because I don't know, I could go into it, but it's just having a damaged moisture barrier is not fun at all. because it takes longer for blemishes to heal. First of all, it just takes longer, and when they do finally start going away, you're left with hyperpigmentation for like weeks, and it's like, it's just not the funnest. But I'd rather have hyperpigmentation. I would take scarring over active acne any day. I just wish that my skin would stop producing acne so that I could just start targeting the scarring and have that speed up the process. But I don't know, maybe it's getting there, maybe we're heading in the right direction. I do know that it's a little bit better. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it's definitely not as bad as it was when I first started doing this, but I haven't seen like any type of dramatic changes by any means. I'm also just super curious to see what my skin does on my next period, because that's when I usually break out the most. It's like a few days before my period and then during it. So I'll have to see how it behaves, you know. But yeah, I think that's really it for this week. Peace and love.